Today, we're digging into one of the biggest secrets in tech. We all see how amazing modern AI is, but have you ever stopped to ask, how was it really built? I mean, what's the raw material that makes these things so smart? Well, it turns out the answer's a billion-dollar secret, and it's been hiding in plain sight this whole time. Let's get into it. Right here, this is the smoking gun. It's from an internal document from the AI giant Anthropic that got unsealed in a massive lawsuit. They called it Project Panama. And their goal? Well, it was to destructively scan all the books in the world. They even said, flat out, we don't want it to be known that we are working on this. They were literally buying up physical books, slicing the spines off, and scanning them to feed their AI. But believe it or not, that wasn't even the half of it.
Yeah, before they started shredding physical books, they took a shortcut, a massive, illegal shortcut. The very foundation of some of the most powerful AI we use every day wasn't just built on fancy code. It was built on a gigantic act of copyright infringement. This is what you could call AI's original sin.
So what exactly was this crime? Well, to really understand the sheer scale of what happened, we need to take a trip to the, let's call them, the shadowy corners of the internet.
Say hello to the shadow libraries. If you haven't heard of them, these are basically notorious pirate websites. We're talking digital archives with millions of copyrighted books, academic papers, you name it, all for free, illegal download. And what court documents have shown is that in the frantic race to get more data, AI developers turned to these massive illegal operations as their main source of high-quality text to train their models.
And the scale? It's just mind-blowing. Take Library Genesis, or LibGen. It's one of the biggest, and it hosted over 7.5 million pirated books. We know from court filings that AI companies downloaded, well, pretty much all of it. This wasn't just grabbing a few files here and there. This was a systematic, industrial-scale ingestion of the world's largest piracy operations.
You gotta love this quote, right? Especially the winking emoji. This came from an engineer at Meta. It shows they knew. They knew what they were doing was sketchy. Internal emails show them talking about the legal risks, about the blowback if this ever got out. But the pressure to keep up with everyone else, who they figured were doing the exact same thing, was just too intense. So when you take a shortcut that big, there's always a price to pay. And in the world of AI, that price tag can be, well, astronomical. The crime led straight to a day of reckoning, and this one came with a bill for billions. $1.5 billion. Just let that number sink in for a second. That is the jaw-dropping amount that Anthropic agreed to pay in a landmark settlement. It's thought to be the single largest copyright recovery in U.S. history. This was not a slap on the wrist. This was a massive signal that the Wild West days of consequence-free data piracy were officially over. Okay, so let's break down what this historic settlement actually means. You've got the $1.5 billion fund, which works out to about $3,000 for every single copyrighted work they pirated. They also have to completely destroy their copies of all these pirated libraries. But here's the kicker, the really crucial part down at the bottom. This settlement only covers what they did in the past. It gives them zero protection from future lawsuits or for any infringing stuff their AI might spit out later. The liability, it doesn't just go away. And that leads us to the much bigger picture. The Anthropic settlement was a huge wake-up call because, as it turns out, they were not the only ones doing this, not by a long shot. This was a systemic problem, baked into the very foundation of the entire generative AI boom.
I mean, court documents laid it all out. It was common practice. You've got Meta, who used the same shadow libraries for its Llama models. You've got Apple, sued for using a massive pirated dataset called Books 3. And even OpenAI has admitted to downloading from LibGen for training. This wasn't a secret. It was the industry's standard operating procedure.
And you know, the damage here isn't just financial. As legal experts point out, it's about your brand, your reputation. I mean, do you really want your company, which is supposed to be building the future, to be associated with words like piracy and theft? Trust is everything, and it's incredibly easy to lose. So, if the old way of just scraping everything is slow, legally a complete disaster, and terrible for your brand, what's the alternative? The industry obviously needs a solution, but it can't be a roadblock that stops innovation. It needs to be a fast lane that actually makes things better. And this chart just lays out the difference perfectly. Over on the left, you've got the old way, web scraping. It's slow. We're talking 20 seconds just for one page. It comes with billions in legal risk, the data's a mess, and the people who made the content get absolutely nothing. Now look at the right. This is a new approach built on something called the Pockets protocol.
We'll get into what that is. But look at the difference. It's basically instant, 30 milliseconds, zero legal risk. The data is clean and organized, and most importantly, creators actually get paid.
So what is this Pockets protocol? Well, it's basically a licensed system that acts as a bridge between the AI companies and the creators. It's designed to turn that illegal scraping into legal, authorized, and paid requests for data. Honestly, the best way to think about it is like ASCAP, the group that makes sure musicians get paid royalties when their songs are on the radio. This is aiming to be that, but for the AI era.
So, how does this thing actually work in practice? The core idea behind it is, well, it's actually pretty brilliant in its simplicity. It flips the script by making the very act of connecting to data a legal agreement. All the old-school friction just disappears. It's just 3 super simple steps. First, a creator just submits a URL of their content, and the system automatically packages it into what's called a pocket. Step 2, an AI model finds that pocket and connects to it. And that connection, that is the contract. Boom. Step 3, that connection instantly triggers a tiny automatic payment, a micropayment, straight to the creator. It's seamless, it's automated, and it can scale infinitely.
Now this looks a little technical, but the key takeaway here is just so powerful. The protocol is the contract. The entire legal framework is literally baked into the technology itself. When an AI agent connects to a creator's pocket, it is programmatically agreeing to the terms. No lawyers, no back-and-forth negotiations, no paper contracts, no invoices. It just works.
So where does this leave us? Well, the entire AI industry is standing at a massive crossroads. The path they've been on is clearly totally unsustainable. And now they have to choose between 2 very, very different futures.
And what's wild is that the legal, ethical path is also just way better technology. I mean, just look at this chart. Scraping a web page can take 20,000 milliseconds. Accessing that same stuff through a licensed pocket, about 30 milliseconds. It's over 100 times faster. This isn't a compromise. It's a massive upgrade. The right thing to do is also the smartest thing to do.
So here are the 2 futures laid bare. You've got the piracy model. Just keep doing what they're doing and face endless lawsuits, billion-dollar payouts, and permanent brand damage. Or you have the partnership model, a stable, legal marketplace that creates new income for millions of creators and builds a rock-solid foundation for the future of AI.
And really, that's the fundamental question we're left with. The technology to build a better, fairer system is already here. The legal warnings have been delivered in spectacular fashion. So the choice now rests with the people building our intelligent future. Are they going to build it on a foundation of theft? Are they going to build it on a framework of partnership?